So we look at our Gurdwara committees. What do we think there? Are these guys trained in leadership, or are they trained in management? Or are they trained in neither? You might be thinking, Kuch bhi nahi hai. No. So where is the leadership going to come from? Who sets the agenda of the Gurdwara? What's the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan? Where's that going to come from? So the question here is, do we need leaders? Yeah. We do quite well when we've got leaders in charge. Yeah. Especially ones that are chosen for the right reasons. Whether it's forced upon us and the Panth Pyare pick somebody. There's Gurbani, is it positive about everybody? Like the wider public is all educated and they're all enlightened people? Or does it say that most people are walking around totally blind? So you've got people, everybody has been given the vote, but most people are walking around totally blind. So what are you going to get? They're going to choose the wrong person, isn't it? Because we never depend upon the masses, because the masses normally tend to be wrong. The Sangat want leaders, but what I've seen so far is that the organizations, or let's say the current leadership, don't want to sit down together and choose leadership, choose a leader out of them. Why do you think that is? You get used to not being responsible for anything. So then they think, I don't want to take any responsibility. Because they're not used to being responsible. Yeah? They don't want to be responsible for anything. So this is our main problem. We don't have a leadership that's pulling us in the same way. Everybody's pulling in different directions. Koi kenda, this is my main masla. Koi kenda, this is my main masla. And you're wrong for not supporting my masla. Because I never wanted to be a Panthic leader. I just wanted to be a blogger, make a few videos in it. Now I got pushed into this role in a way. And I've tried to step up to the plate. Je Lord hegi te fir karo. Panth vaste karo kuch. Leaders need to be selected. Because then they take the Jimmewari on, but somebody also gives them power. Yeah? No one wants to be Jimmewar for something, but not be able to have any power to do something. This happens a lot. We blame people for our problems, but then when they say do something, what happens? No one listens. So you need people that listen to you. You need finances, money, power, ability to achieve something. Okay? And then you take the responsibility of going wrong. But at least you've got the power to do something right. So if you see a problem, start to solve it. Vaheguru Sahib Ji To sona nath anath namo sare To sona dani namo so pikhari Mo sona deen दयाल न तो सर मोसो अज्ञान ना तो सो बिचारी मोसो न पतित न पावन तो सर मोसो बिकारी ना तो सो उपकारी मेरे है अब गुण तू गुण सागर जात रसातल ओट तिहारी मेरे है अब गुण तू गुण सागर जात रसातल ओट तिहारी बेसुमार अथाह अगणित अतोले जो बुलावो त्यों नानक दास बोले वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. So thank you so much for everybody turning out. Great to see so many people here. So today's topic is leaders required. And I thought it'd be funny to say apply within, because if you think about it, ki Sikhi is about applying inside anyway. So it's within yourself is what I meant. Andar dekho. So the first question is, have we had leaders? And that's quite obvious we have, From the beginning of Sikhi, we always had a leader. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj started Sikhi. Obviously, if you look at it from the Sikh perspective, Maharaj will say, well, I was sent by God. So, oh, mere Guru hai, mere Guru ne mainu aap bhejya the, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj will say that I was given a message. Guru Gobind Singh Ji says the same thing, that God says to them, ki tusi jao. And they say, I've made you my son, go into this world and spread dharma. Right? So we see that Akal Purakh has started Sikhi, but the Gurus, they are our leaders. And they provided wonderful leadership. And really, Sikhi wouldn't be here, obviously, without the Gurus. You know? If hon aajkal koi kave, well, we don't need to worship our Gurus. So we made a lot of videos on this topic. That is, what is the Guru Sahib darja ki hai Sikhi vich? Because some people have started to say they're just a teacher, that Gyan is our Guru, but the Gurus themselves weren't that important. But jaaki Sikhon nu pucho, jehde us vele de Sikh sige, they were bowing at the Guru's feet, they were touching their feet and saying, Tood manu deo. They were begging for the Guru's darshan. So the Guru was for us the embodiment of Akal Purakh. Yeah? And the easiest way to explain what the Guru is just by using Guru Har Gobind Sahib Maharaj. One of the easiest ways. Guruji makes a throne, right? They call it the throne of God. Akal Takht Sahib, yeah? Then they go and sit there. You know? Just any Sikh can understand from there who the Guru is. They make the throne of God, right? So who's supposed to sit on the throne of God? God, right? Then who sits on the throne of God? Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji. So it is spasht hai ki Guru Sahib ki hai, wo aade for us, sade vaste Rab da roop, yeah, ek Baba Akal roop, yeah. So, and what qualities did they have? You know, many Sikhs attach themselves in a way they feel that attachment to one Guru or another Guru, yeah. And they have this kind of, you know, I guess what you might say, ki this is my favorite Guru kind of thing. Now for a lot of people now it's obviously Guru Gobind Singh Ji, because we look at what they achieved and what they gave for us. But each of the Guru gives to us a quality which we can learn from. So apa Bani padde hain, we read their Bani, we read their Itihas, and then we have something we can learn from our Gurus. But the Gurus came full of qualities. Like Bhai Jagraj Singh says, ki mere hai avgun, tu gun sagar. He's talking to the Guru, he's saying, I've got no good qualities, but all the qualities are with you. So the Gurus really bring all the qualities that we need in our Jeevan. They bring that and they teach us it with their life and their Bani as well. Yeah. So I'm not going to go into them, can't list them all out for you, because Maharaj says ki, you know, your qualities are beyond. Yeah. And how can I even do varnan of your qualities? So apa oni karna, but the qualities the Guru had, they are those qualities that we can aspire to. Apart from the main one, that they were God's own form upon earth. You know? What we can do is aspire to be an imperfect reflection of our Guru. Yeah, darpan jada honda na, a darpan, a shisha, it reflects. So Harek Sikh is trying to be an imperfect reflection of their Guru. Yeah? And trying to be as close so that people can see the Guru through them. Not necessarily they can see that the Sikh is the Guru, but that they reflect the Guru's root. And if you look at it in one way, Bhaja Wale Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, they gave us their own form, yeah, so that we even reflect them even more. And then they even said ki Khalsa mera roop hai khas, Khalsa mein ho karo nivas. They went even further and they said that Khalsa mera sajan sura, Khalsa mera Satguru pura. That the Khalsa is my Guru. So if you look at most people now, they always look back to in the Guru's times, in the Guru's times. You know, you heard that, right? People say in the Guru's times things were like this, in the Guru's times things were like this. In a way, where sade ek paase sach bhi gal hegi hai, duje paase plekha bhi paya hua hai. One thing is true, one thing is also a bit wrong. The Guru is the only Guru that never left. Yeah. Everybody came and left, no? Muhammad Sahib, they came, they left. Jesus came and left. The Guru never left. Right? Dasa Paatshah Jot, Tan Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Hazar Nazar, and they're still here now. So they never left. Guru Nanak Dev Ji never left. Since they've come, they've never gone anywhere. They're still here. Right? So, in the Guru's times, this is the Guru's times. Right? But, in another way, it's true. When there was a physical Guru, there was some kind of leadership for the Panth. And it was different. Because we knew who to turn to. And now we seem to be in a bit of a quandary as who to turn to. First, I want to pose you guys a question is, what's the difference between leadership and management? Yeah, just think about it in your mind for a minute. There's somebody who is a leader and there's somebody who's a manager, right? So how can we understand this? Let's look at a school, right? School, who is the leader of a school? That's all. The principal, right? The principal. The principal used to be a teacher, then he got given more, or he or she got given more responsibility and became a, maybe the head of class, yeah, head of a form. Then they became the head of a year group, okay, or they became the head of a department, and then they became maybe vice principal. They got given more and more responsibility, and finally they became a principal, right? So that's one sort of leadership, kind of, you might say, branch in a school. There's another department of the school, which is the management department. There you've got a guy who started in finance, right? And then they went further up, or somebody who was a secretary, and then went further up down the line, and they became maybe the head secretary for the school, okay? Or they became the kind of administrative support group of the principal, yeah? So you've got two different branches of where people come from. Those that manage, they do a lot of administration, and those that lead, yeah? Are we understanding that? Same when it comes to politics. You've got the civil service, they do all the administration. Then you've got these people that are picked as leaders by the people, which we call them MPs, right? So they're people that are picked to lead, and they come with the ideas and they lead, and other people that are picked to just make sure that everything is running as per it should be. So in the army, you've got the same thing. You've got officers, okay, who are picked for leadership abilities, they're trained, they're given jobs to do, and then on the other side, you've got these sergeant majors that have been in the army for a long time, okay, and they are leaders, but they also do most of the administration. So a young officer of 21, 22, like I was, is going to be given a job of leading 30 people, but they don't have to do all the administration. They don't have to work out the bullets, the food, all that kind of stuff. That's done by the sergeant major of that platoon, yeah, or the company sergeant major, or later on the regimental sergeant major. They do all the administration, but the planning, the leadership of how we're going to do, what we're going to do, that's done by the officers, okay. So all over society, there's leaders and there's administrators. In every company, there's people that do the admin and there's people that do the leading, right? The CEO and the CTO, or executive officer. Then there's like the chief kind of finance officer. He's in charge of finance, right? CFO. So the difference there is one group is trained in managing, and the other group is trained in leading, having a vision and organizing people to achieve that vision. So we look at our Gurdwara committees, Committee Vale, right? I love that song, by the way. It's quite a good song, yeah? What do we think there? Are these guys trained in leadership, or are they trained in management? Or are they trained in neither? You might be thinking, no. So we've got to think, right? So firstly, have they been promoted up the lines in terms of leadership, from starting off as somebody at a lower branch and they've gone up? So you might think, well, no. But should it be that way? Okay. And the other thing is are they managers then? So who's the leader? Somebody will say, well, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is leader, right? Guru Granth Sahib is leader, and these guys are managing the Gurdwara. So they're more like the finance, general secretary, stage manager, langari. That's all the management. So where is the leadership going to come from? Who sets the agenda of the Gurdwara? What's the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan? Where is that going to come from? And then sometimes, myself included, I walk into a Gurdwara, I wonder who is in charge here, right? Because it seems like everybody's got slopey shoulders. You know what slopey shoulders are? You put responsibility on the shoulder and it just slopes off to somebody else. Not my fault, it was him. Or it was him. Yeah. Then on the other side, people cuss Gurdwara committees. You've also got other problem that people raise all the time. There's too many babas, too many deras. Now, in this situation, what you've got is somebody is in charge. Somebody is in charge. But who chose that person? Not us lot. Yeah? You might say, well, God chose him. Some people say, Rab ne aap, unhone chuniya hai. Yeah, Brahm Gyani aap Parameswar. True. But then, have they gone through some kind of Panthic leadership test to say whether we should have worked with this person or not? In history, we've always had some kind of like committee to say, theek ya or nahi theek. But at the moment, it's hard to have that. So we're lacking some kind of like Panthic stamp, that those people that are within the daira of our Panth and our Maryada, ki ye Sikhi taur te theek ne, and there's ones that are outside of that. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of babbes in Punjab now. Apna is, people love Gurdas Man, but oh to khudar wale bapu nu matha tekda. Yeah, and that guy is smoking, drinking, everything, murnaya, right? So we got to think carefully what kind of babas are out there. Not that they're not required, because what's happened next I'm going to go through is people are starting to say, we don't need any leaders, bro. Ek bhi di lod nahi, right? And what's happened then is we say, no, Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our leader. That's it. Yeah? And we don't need anybody else. But the question is, does it help then to have someone in charge? I'll ask you a bit of a quick survey. Does it help to have someone in charge? Hands up those that think yes. If you think that it's helpful to have someone in charge. Okay, and then those that think, no, it's not good to have anybody in charge. Who's on that line? Okay, and who thinks, I'm not quite sure? Because some of you haven't put your hand up, so that's not the problem with the Panth. No one's putting their hand up. Chalo, we'll come to that in a second. Nothing to do with me, it's not my fault. I'll blame that person, blame that person. And normally, the person to blame is always the previous committee. Alright. No, but I'll come to that in a second. Let's talk about Gurbani. Yeah? Gurbani talks about bad leaders. People like me. Yeah? Maharaj says, Kood bol, murdar khai, avri ko samjhavan jai. Mutha aap mohaye sat hai, nanak aisa agu jape. Yeah? So look at these people that call themselves leaders. Now here, this is a conversation in Kartarpur, yeah, with the mullah that used to teach the Nivaj there. Yeah? And Maharaj says to him, Ki bhai, this is what's happening nowadays. Yeah? People are telling lies. Now the English translation, unfortunately I didn't get a chance to edit it, but jad Faridkot tika padya it was a bit different. He said, Maharaj is saying, jira banda hon jhoot bolda hai, it's equivalent to having haram. Murdar khana, insan da murda khana is haram, hai na? Nobody a dead body. Hai na? So they're saying that Maharaj is saying ki jira hon jhoot bol raha hai, it's equivalent to eating a dead body. Te haram hai. So jhoot bolna haram hai. But they go ki avri ko samjhavan jaye. Aap haram karde hege kam. Duje nu samjhan jande hege. They're going to teach other people. They go, dekho. This is what people are like. They're going to get lost, deceived, and they deceive their companion as well. Because sach nahi bolde. Yeah? The truth is not being pargat. Right? Same all over the world, you might say nowadays. Ki a lot of truth is hidden. Even politicians nowadays, they say this. They go, we can't speak the truth. We'll get slaughtered. Ajkal eho ja zamana aa gaya that you can't speak the truth in public. Yeah? Me and Baljit Singh were having a conversation one day. We go, a lot of the times, we can't even speak the truth to the Panth. What we feel, we can't say because lokan sanu the vard dena. Yeah. So there's a bit of a problem in our Panth. People aren't allowed to speak the truth because, you know, we've got this sort of political correctness stuff going on. Yeah. Maharaj says, Mutta aap muhaye sat hai, nanak aisa agu jape. They go, these are the kind of leaders that are out there nowadays. So it's not a new thing. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is writing about it 500 years ago. There is a bit of a leadership stigma nowadays, isn't there? Anybody who steps up to say, I'll take a bit of charge or I'll lead this project, people are saying, dekho, vadda aggu ban ke aaya. Sach nahi hega. Yeah? The minute someone, is in the First World War, they used to have these trenches, right? So everybody fought in trenches. Now, if you put your head above the parapet, that means that you looked up to shoot on the other side. People come to First World War, Second World War, they came to fight. They're fighting each other. But the minute you put your head up to shoot, you got shot at as well. That's what the Panth is like now. Anybody who steps up to do something important, like shoot the enemy and do the job, as soon as they put their head above the parapet, people are waiting there to get into the goli mar do. Yeah? And so there's a bit of a stigma of being a leader. So what's happened is a bunch of new organizations have come up in our Panth and they say, we have no leader. Leaderless organizations. They go, we don't want to be shot at. So the people that are leading them, they're there, but they say there's no leader. Yeah? We're just people working together. And this is a new trend I've seen. And je puchoge, who's in charge? Who can I fire my bullets at when I'm not happy with your work? Can get not me, bro. There's no one in charge. I see where like an organization just working, it's just doing stuff, but no one's in charge. So they've cut the head off. Yeah? So no one can be blamed. Now the problem is the Sangat has also done this as well. Yeah? They say, no, we don't need anybody but Guru Granth Sahib Ji. I've heard this many times. So what's happened is, if anybody starts to become a bit of a, like say for example, a pracharak, and they get people behind them, meeting them and following them and listening to them, right? Then we say that's bad. There shouldn't be any leaders. No one should listen to anybody. Yeah? Make your own mind up all the time. Now in a certain way, it's good to think for yourself. Maharaj says, Aap vicharo, yeah? Think for yourself. Yeah? Use your brain. But on the other side, yeah, I was talking to Gyani Kulwant Singh Ji. I don't know if you've heard their katha. They really should if you haven't heard it. So Gyani Kulwant Singh Ji, Ludhiana Wale, they've got a lot of katha on YouTube. So they were talking to us back in the UK because they were there for about a couple of weeks. Gyani Ji was like, example, they said, imagine a shop, right, and it's working. Vadiya kaam chal raha hai na dukaan vich, right? You've got the shopkeeper and then you've got all the workers working in the shop, right? Now what you do is, one by one, you get rid of all the workers. Onne bhi hata do, onne bhi hata do, yeah? And then you say to the guy that's owned the shop, the shopkeeper, they go, your shop should work at the same level, but now there's nobody working in the shop. In a way, that's sada e hal ho gaya hun. Yeah? We wonder what's wrong with Sikhi, what's wrong with the Panth, but we're not prepared to put the people in charge of different departments to run it. Yeah? We go, no, there should be no shop workers. And the Guru always worked through Gursikhs and the Gurmukhs. Yeah? Gursikha andar Sat Guru varte. Maharaj says himself, Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj says, that I operate through my Sikhs. Yeah? You can't bring the shopkeeper down and say, that's what people are saying now. They make the Guru do all the job themselves. No Gursikh is allowed to be there. Sikandar the Great, they call him, innit? Yeah. He was a leader, right? Kafi kuch kitta hone bhi. And under his agwai, quite a lot happened. He goes, I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. That's what we are, innit? We're an army of lions. Yeah? Maybe not led by sheep, but led by jackals, right? But Alexander goes, I'm not scared of that. Oh, that he kia. Imagine a whole army of lions led by a sheep. I'm not scared. But I'd be scared of an army of sheep led by a lion. Yeah. So this is an interesting analogy, isn't it? Okay, we're always wondering, we're all lions, right? But Sade Mori kon khada hai? Who are our Agu? That's where we seem to fall short. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Circumstances create leaders. Who's heard of Nawab Kapoor Singh? Put your hands up. Okay. And when I say up, yeah, I literally mean up. Well, if you just put it up like about here, because you want to dikhrani, yeah. Okay. So a few people have heard of him, not that many. 1733, right? Now the thing is in our Panth, this is the forgotten century. We know a lot about 1900s and 1947, 1984, because that affects us right now. We think that the other previous past doesn't affect us. But the 1700s, that whole century, from Guru Gobind Singh Ji giving the Khalsa Panth, the Guru Gaddi, to Raja Ranjit Singh coming in charge, it's like a blank for most people. They don't know anything that happened in that century. They go, I don't know. But this is what happened. Now why I say circumstances, because in a way he was chosen, but the circumstances led to him being chosen. Okay? The Mughal Sarkar was fighting the Sikhs for a long time. From the time of Banda Singh Bahadur taking over Sirhind and giving Badla and killing the head of Sirhind. From that time till he was Shaheed, okay, in exactly 300 years ago, okay, in 1716. From 1716 to now, to 1733, in that sort of 15-16 year period, 17 year period, in that time, there was like a war going on between the Sikh Panth and the Mughals. But in 1733, the Mughal Sarkar got fed up with this war. Okay, Zakaria Khan got fed up, and he says, let's have a bit of a détente. Yeah, you guys speak a bit of French here, innit? You know what détente means? Hopefully. Yeah? It means let's have a peace accord. They say, give us a leader. So the Mughal Sarkar says, give me a leader of the Sikh Panth. We'll give you a Nawabi. Choose a leader. So the circumstances were such that the Sikh Panth was forced to choose a leader. Kinu degi Nawabi. And they chose Nawab Kapoor Singh. His favourite seva, he was a bright guy, he wasn't just like nothing anything else, but his favourite seva was to clean the manure of the horses, clean the horses' pens, okay, drag out all their gund, clean out all the hay, Okay, because obviously they do their all their business in the. Then put that down again. Okay, fresh. It wasn't exactly a very clean job, but he liked in that seva for the Panth, and he would do a lot of that seva. ठीक है ना? Someone's got to do it. They said, "Ennu bana do." Give him the Nawabi. Right? Now Nawab Kapoor Singh, when he's offered as Nawabi, he doesn't say no, but he says, "मैं सरकार दी Nawabi नहीं मननी." He goes, "Eh Nawabi na, put it at the feet of the Panj Pyare, and then the Panj Pyare have to give it to me." ठीक है? So that's the principle set. कि आपा किसी और तो leader नहीं बनना. Our leadership should come from the Panth. Yeah. Now, when they give him the Nawabi, the Panj Pyare, at that time you've got people like Baba Deep Singh Ji and the Panj Pyare as well. ठीक है ना? So it wasn't just any old people that said, "Enu banao." Okay, Baba Deep Singh Ji was one of them. Now, but Nawab Kapoor Singh steps up to the plate. He's told, "You're the leader." Under his leadership, he does great things. Okay? He organizes the Panth into the Buddha Dal and Tarna Dal. That's one of his main legacies as well. Then he sets up the missiles. He realizes that at the moment we're under battle. Okay, we can't really organize ourselves into one big group. Let's set up different missiles. Yeah. The Panth, then there's Nawab Kapoor Singh. Soon as that peace period that he's appointed as a leader, what happens next is there's war. Okay, price again on the head of every Sikh. Okay, the Mughal Sarkar go back on their word. The Panth survives Zakaria Khan and all the murders that happened. Okay, Chota Ka Lukara is under his leadership as well. This is what he ends up as later on. Okay, as a great leader. In 1748 though, quite crucially, after being in charge of the Panth for quite a few years, yeah? How many is that? 15 years? He does a great thing. He hands over leadership. That's something you don't see nowadays. People don't seem to want to hand over leadership. It's dead man's shoes, as they say. You know what dead man's shoes means? कोई बंदा मरे ता कोई होर दे जूते पा सकदा है. They hold on until they're dead. Okay. Now he hands over leadership, but this time the Panth chooses a leader. They didn't have to choose a leader, but they chose one. Who was that? Jassa Singh Ahluwalia. 1748, Jassa Singh Ahluwalia is chosen as the leader of the Panth. Nawab Kapoor Singh is involved in that decision as well. They trained him in a way. He was trained to be a leader. His mother had come up to people like Bhai Mani Singh, okay, and that she'd given her son. She said, "Mera putya, I want to give him to the Khalsa. Yeah, make him a sevadar of the Panth." So this is the greatness of his mother. Yeah, she'd given him to the Khalsa Panth. His nicknames, one was Guru Ka Lal. He's one of the Panj Pyare, beautiful Kirtani as well. Okay, and the people looked at him, they go, "This is a diamond of the Guru." Another name for him was Sultan-e-Qaum, the king of the Panth. So we had leaders that we actually gave such titles now that we would think are unthinkable. And he did wear a kalgi as well because he was a sultan. Yeah, but not in the Guru's Darbar, obviously. He organized a Panth into 60 missiles. Okay, they use Abdali's attacks, very clever way. Abdali, by the way, most people don't know, but there was two types of Mughals: those that lived in India and the ones that invaded Mughal India from Afghanistan and Iran. So they would invade from there. And as every time Abdali invaded, he invaded 9 times, they would let him come through Punjab. Now, they would come through Punjab, he would go to Delhi, ransack Delhi, steal all the gold, take all the women. On his way back, they would raid him. Yeah, because who is the enemy? The Mughal Sarkar of Delhi. So this guy is the enemy's enemy is still the enemy. But what they do is let him come and destroy the enemy. Then they wait for him to go back and they rob him. Tahi Abdali na dukhi hoya saka sikha to. Yeah, because he's on his way back thinking, "I've conquered India," and then on the way back he'd find out that someone stolen all of his money and all the women he was going to sell, they stolen them as well and freed them. Now at that point, Mir Mannu is sent to kill the Sikhs. And under his agwai, the Panth survives Mir Mannu as well. And they survived the Vadda Ka Lukara. Yeah. In 1783 he passes away, and then you've got a dark period. The misses are fighting each other. And finally, with a bit of cunning, a bit of marriage, a bit of jor, yeah, Ranjit Singh in 1801 becomes the king of Punjab. And then again we've got leadership. And again the Panth grows. Yeah. So the question here is, do we need leaders? Yeah. We do quite well when we've got leaders in charge. Yeah? especially ones that are chosen for the right reasons. Whether it's forced upon us and the Panj Pyare pick somebody, or the Panth say we did good with that system, let's choose another one. How do we get leaders? That's the other question. Well, there's elections. Have we done well with those? Anybody think we've done good with elections of leaders? No. Because what's the problem with elections?
Half the people don't come to vote.
Yeah, most people don't vote firstly. But also normally, yeah, most people are not interested. Hanji Viji. Politics is a dirty business, yeah? The people that step into that world of politics, in a way, they're kind of like already the ones that want power. ठीक है ना? So it's kind of like a dirty business to get into. The other thing with elections is, who votes? Who votes in elections? Everyone. Yeah, everyone. And Maharaj says, there's Gurbani, is it positive about everybody? Like the wider public is all educated and they're all enlightened people? Or does it say that most people are walking around totally blind? Most people are walking around totally blind, right? So you've got people, everybody has been given the vote, but most people are walking around totally blind. So what are you going to get? They're going to choose the wrong person, isn't it? Because we never depend upon the masses, because the masses normally tend to be wrong. Yeah? In Gurbani, Maharaj says that there's very few people actually awakened. Yeah? So democracy goes completely opposite to the Sikh concept of ke nede, ke dur. Some people are far, some people are close. Yeah? What we're doing now is letting everybody be equal. So one of my other favorite Kathavachiks is Sant Hardev Singh Lulo Vale. I was sitting with them once. I asked them this question, ki Gurdwara ki hona chahita. They passed away now. But I was lucky to sit with them. I asked them, ki dasso fir. Because they were of that kind of sabha, they bahut hassa se gana. They used to make people laugh a lot. They go, duniya vich na do cheezaं bahut panga paandiyan ne. Ek vote te ek note. Yeah? Money and voting. They go, problem is the same. They go, jehड़ा ਇਹ vote या ते note या ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਦਾ same ਭਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮਨਮੁਖ ਦੇ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ same ਭਾ ਹੈ. Yeah? The value of the vote doesn't change in the hands of the Gursikh, and the value of the note doesn't change in the hands of the Gursikh. It's the same. So it's dangerous because there's more people that are manmukhs, that are gurmukh. That's just normal. Yeah? Ke nede ke dur. Maharaj says straight away that those that do this jap naam and achieve this thing as well, there are very few of them. The other option is selection. Choosing someone for the right qualities. Yeah? Sant Jarnail Singh Ji is a good example of that. They were chosen as a leader of Damdami Taksal. Then, under their leadership of the Taksal, they became so people were so prabhavit, and people were so affected by how when they heard them, that they became one of the leaders of the Panth. But they weren't elected into that role. They just kind of became that because people listened to them. Yeah? But they had a selection as well. Okay? So somebody, okay, obviously the previous Jahdar of Damdim Taksal, saw the qualities in them and they chose them for those qualities. Okay? Then you've got this other thing which is action-orientated leadership. Okay? And they're both important. Anybody know who that is at the top? Should all know, huh? Bhagat Puran Singh. Okay, there's a movie about them, if you can watch it. Now, they became a leader of an organization, okay, called Pingalwada. But they ended up founding it. But the reason they became the leader is because it was action orientated. They just started off fixing a problem. As they started fixing that problem, people started giving them more money to help them fix that problem. Then they started to basically hire people to help them do that job of fixing people, and then they became the leader of that. So in a way, without, I'm not a leader of anything, but in a way what I do is I run an organization, okay, which basically came about because I started it. Not because I started it with a plan, I'm going to be a leader. I just started to do what I could do to fix problems, and then following on from that, people started giving us maya. We thought we should hire more people. Then I got pushed into a leadership position. Started off from a prachar position, I got pushed into this CEO role. So when Paisa were talking earlier on about, everything's 13. So we've got a management board, and then there's 5 people there, and I'm one of those 5, but then I'm the sort of executive giving the kind of vision. As soon as we get enough resources, we then start a new project which we think is important to the Panth. Okay? So in a way, we need both. We need people that are selected, okay, to become Panthic leaders, but you always need these action-orientated people that are going to start projects. They see something, they start fixing it, and they end up leading that project. Okay? But there's a difference between them and leaders, because they're not being selected. So now, what do we need today is a question, right? Because this is all just stuff that is just going through my mind today. It's kind of like, this is not a talk that I planned months in advance. It's just looking at the situation today. What do we need? People always talk, we need leaders. So when we started off, I started off with leaders required, apply within. Yeah. Now, in one way, what we need today are both types of leaders. We need those that are selected. Yeah. On a Gurmat Jathedars, you might say. Gurmat Torte, Sangat comes together and they go, we need a couple of leaders in this area. For example, Vancouver's full of Sikhs in it, especially Surrey. Throw a stone and you'd hit a Sikh, most likely. Or a brown person. Yeah. Just randomly. But I won't recommend you go around throwing stones, but anyway. So, full of brown people, sorry. You guys here have got more Sangat, yeah, than Patna Sahib. Patna Sahib's got about 1,000 Sikhs, but they've got a Takht. You have no voice in the Panth at all. Sitting here, you've got no ability to influence the Akal Takht Sahib, apart from by writing letters or whatever, petitions. That's a new way of leadership. Not leadership. What is it? Activism. Yeah, petition. Sign a petition. Yeah. So you've got no voice. Yeah, but we could set up a sort of like an organization here that became the Vancouver Jathedars. Yeah, some kind of Panj Pyare. Now, to most people, that sounds. There's two options here. On the one side, my experience, जो मैं देखा पिछले 5 साल तजुर्बा मेरा हैगा, is that the Sangat desperately want leaders. They want to know who's in charge here. They want to work out, like, if somebody said something I didn't like, who do I go to? Yeah? Who do I complain to about this person or that person? Or who do I ask advice from? If one Gurdwara is doing something wrong or is doing something right, who's going to choose that person? Who's going to give some kind of leadership to us? The Sangha desperately want leaders. But on the other side, this is just my experience, every other established organization who is currently in some kind of leadership role does not want leaders. Yeah? So the Sangat want leaders, but what I've seen so far is that the organizations, or let's say the current leadership, don't want to sit down together and choose leadership, choose a leader out of them. Why do you think that is?
Responsibility then comes to them, they're answerable.
Okay, so there's a bit of a desire not to be responsible. Cookies, fir inna vadda par chukna aukhaya. But Nawab Kapoor Singh, people like him are still around the Panth. He was given a vaddi jimmiwari, you're going to be the head of the Panth. Jassa Singh Ahluwalia was given that responsibility, and he stepped up and he achieved great things. So we're not all scared of jimmiwari. When you have your first kid, that's a lot of jimmiwari as well. Yeah, some of you guys will be thinking, I'm chilling. But as soon as you get married, you're still chilling. But when you have a kid, you're no longer chilling. I said, chilling time finished. Yeah. When they get a bit older, and then they can sort of sit on the iPad and play, then you might be chilling again for a bit. Yeah, you might have a couple of hours and then you're back onto the job. So jimmiwari. And in the old days, people used to get married quite young. And that jimmiwari used to come to them quite young. So they were used to being jimmewar. One of the things that's happened recently, which you might have noticed, yeah, is that this trend to get married in your 30s. Now what happens is, people are kind of jimmewar, able to get married mentally and physically. They're kind of grown-ups when they're about 15. Yeah? Although you don't get treated that way. By about 15, physically and mentally, you're ready to become an adult. Right? The problem is, you're not treated like an adult. Huh? So, 15 saal bacha koi kahe ki, oh, this is a problem in the Gurdwara. People will say, come on man, don't be silly. Tu ki kaha, bacha hai. Then they go to university and they get told, तो बच्चा है. Then they graduate at 21, no responsibility. Put aram kar, go get a job. They get given a job, but it's work responsibility. It's not out of hours responsibility. It's just you hang up. And even at work, you're quite junior, so you've got no real responsibility. So you hit 24, 25, your parents start thinking, chalo eda vyah kar do. Yeah? And then they maybe think, if they get married maybe 26, then they say, chalo hale si vyah kita hai, we're not going to have kids right now. Let's go traveling, let's go enjoy ourselves for a bit. So it hits to 28, then they go, chalo, have some kids now. So they've had from 15 to about 30 of not being jimmewar, innit? You get used to not being responsible for anything. So then they think, I don't want to take any responsibility. Because they're not used to being responsible. Yeah? They don't want to be responsible for anything. So Panji's right. No one wants to be taking on jimmewari. Yeah? We run away from it nowadays. But what if you'd gotten married when you were about 15, 16, you'd had your kids by the time you were about 20, you've got 2 kids at 20 years old, you've got a house, wife, jimmewari sambryo, you're used to taking jimmewari. Yeah? Then what would happen if somebody came along and said, we need you to do this job? You say, yeah, I can do that. Main jimmewar banda hai. Got 4 years of being responsible. I can manage this. Yeah? So in a way, our system that we're changing of not giving responsibility to the youth is leading to people that don't want to be jimmewar. They want to be free. Yeah? And then we end up with where we are now, is that the second part, Sangat to take a lead on projects, is not happening. Yeah? Ek passe, we've gotten rid of our normal selection procedure for leaders. So in the Gurdwaras, we've got elections, not selections, most of the time. There are some that have selections. At the Panthic level, there's no more Sarbat Khalsa really. And if you guys now still think that last year Sarbat Khalsa was a real Sarbat Khalsa, wake up. It wasn't. It was controlled. Yeah? And if you think this November is going to be a real Sarbat Khalsa, you should be waking up again. Yeah? You don't want to be a fool, innit? I was there, doing Chakari and saying, brilliant, we've got a new leadership, but guess what's happened? Yeah? We've been hoodwinked. But we still need that system to work. The Sangat was there, but then again, it's that lion and the sheep problem. Yeah? All these lions led by sheep or jackals. Yeah? So, what we need is to bring back both systems. The system of picking jathedars in each ilaka or in each area. Yeah? Pick people that we trust on a Gurmat angle. And there's many videos about this on the channel. I'm not going to go into too much detail. But the point is, the simplest way to do this is, everybody gets together and chooses the criteria. Not the person, the criteria first. We want these kind of leaders. Reni Veni, Gursikhi di, Padhe Likhe hon, open-minded hon, Vishalta hove, Dirta hove. Whatever it is that you want in your qualities, pick your qualities first, and then put names forward of people that match those qualities. And then we can pick the people that can be our leaders. And this is not something new, it's happened before. We've done it when we needed to, and it's worked. On the other side is us lot. Okay? You see this Save Punjab sign? Yeah? Let's go through what we've got problems with. Nasha kheri, yeah? Drug addiction. Okay? Pristachar, corruption. Okay? I can't even read that one. I can read English, but yeah. No jobs, yeah? Unemployment, female feticide, a big problem. Pollution, okay, Pardushan, I love that one. Yeah? Road accidents, cultural pollution, big time. Yeah? Water table, debt, cancer. We've got big problems in Punjab, and that's not even talking about what's going on here in Surrey. You problems, just talking to you guys when I came here last year as well, and year before that. I know there's big problems here with gangs. Yeah? It's not really in England that much. Okay? But in here, especially in this side, it's big. So we've got problems we've got to deal with in our local areas, right? Then there's national Panthic level problems that we just talked about. But how do we organize all the resources of all these people here? Who do we trust to give our daswan to? All these people, Sikh Panth is 30 million people, but it's 30 million people pulling in different ways. Put 30 million people and tell them all to pull in different directions, where are you going to go? If you've got a ship and you tie ropes all around that ship, right? Imagine in your head, yeah? You've got a ship, you've got ropes all around that ship. And you give those ropes to millions of people and you say, okay, pull in different directions, what's going to happen to that ship? It's not going to go anywhere. Most likely it's going to just explode in it and go nowhere, right? What if you gave those 30 million people a rope and said, push in that direction? It's going to go somewhere, isn't it? Fast. So this is our main problem. We don't have a leadership that's pulling us in the same way. Everybody's pulling in different directions. Koi kehanda, this is my main masla. Koi kehanda, this is my main masla. And you're wrong for not supporting my masla. Yeah? So what I've seen in my history, working, because I never wanted to be a Panthic leader, I just wanted to be a blogger, make a few videos in it. Now I got pushed into this role in a way. And I've tried to step up to the plate. Je Lord hagi te fir karo. Panth vaste karo kuch. So, but also I'm not selected. I keep pointing it out to people because people keep saying, you should do this, you should do that. I'm not a selected leader. This is not good. Why is it not good? Doesn't mean that every Pracharak should be selected. But leaders need to be selected. Because then they take the Jimmevari on, but somebody also gives them power. Yeah? No one wants to be Jimmevar for something, but not be able to have any power to do something. This happens a lot. We blame people for our problems, but then when they say do something, what happens? No one listens. I've gone up to people and I've said that I want, we want to pick some leadership. I'd put you forward. What would you say? They go, listen, I don't want to be leading a bunch of people that don't listen to me. I say one thing, they don't do it. You see, so you need discipline. Any kind of officer, you give him charge, you say, soldiers aren't going to listen to you, but we're going to make you the officer. He'll say, no thanks. My karnaini. Because no one's going to listen to you. So you need people that listen to you. You need finances, money, power, ability to achieve something. Okay? And then you take the responsibility of going wrong. But at least you've got the power to do something right. What we've got our leaders that we don't even follow ourselves because they've not been selected as per Gurmat. Yeah? And then the other problem is that people are just lazy. They see a problem, they go, somebody else should do something. That was literally me. Yeah? I was that guy who sat around saying, somebody should make videos about YouTube, This Just Rain ain't doing much. They say, okay, he's not doing much either, and that's humble. I don't think he's really that much into Sikhi. That was me sitting there, watching these people thinking, they've got hundreds of thousands of people watching these videos. Why don't they make a video about Sikhi? And then I'd look in the mirror for a minute and think, hold on. Are these three people supposed to be the only hopes for the Panth? Is that it? Or are we all the ones that wear this gatra? I'll give you a good example, yeah? When the no, jiri no hegi, pehli wari kar aandi na? The Indian movies, you watch the Indian movies, I know we can't get away from them, innit? Now, Indian movies, what happens is, at one point, there's this very poignant sort of situation where the sas comes over to the no, and she gives her a big guchha of chabiyan. Yeah, and she goes, Aaput, aatule. 100 years from now, your iPhone will open everything, innit? Or maybe 10 years from now, and then there'll be nothing to hand over. But chabiyan, kar di jimmewari. That's what it meant, yeah? That you are now, the woman, you've got the responsibility. It's like you're in the army when you get issued your rifle. Here you go, here's the chabiyan of the car. Yeah? When you got those chabiyan, that meant you were responsible. Jimmewari. Honjera gatra hai na, this is a sign that you are jimmewar for the Panth. The Khalsa, Maharaj says, this is Khalsa mera. Maharaj says, the Khalsa is my ang. Khalsa meri jaan ki jaan. Yeah? Khalsa, this is my ang. This is a limb of mine. Yeah? Now, if you're the limb of the Guru, you got to behave as if you're jimmewar for the Panth. You're responsible for the things that are going wrong. That means when we see that there is a lead, see, I put this in a special way. I didn't say become a leader. What I said is take a lead on projects. Because that's how you get the other type of leaders, the action-orientated leaders. They just see something wrong and they start to fix it. And as they start to fix it, they become the lead on that project. And as they prove themselves responsible, they prove themselves capable, they prove themselves effective, people start trusting them and they start to listen to them. Yeah? So this is the other thing that's always needed, is people take a lead on projects. So if you see a problem, start to solve it. Yeah? And this is the bit where I said at the beginning, why we need these types of leaders now. We need the other leaders, but that's not going to happen. Us lot here, we can't decide to choose a leader for the Panth. It needs to be at a national level, at a global level. You have to have the desire in you that we need to choose these leaders. So that you spread this desire to every single Sikh. Yeah? So that one day when someone steps out and says, we need to make some leaders, everybody says, yep, I agree with that guy. Because what's going to happen one day otherwise is, somebody's going to step up and say, we need some leaders. People are going to say, no, we don't. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our leader. And then we'll be staying in the same panga as we've got now. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our guide. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our rahabar, yeah, our guide upon this path. But we need people, jathedars. We've always had them. It's the way it's always worked. Yeah. So we need, if the Sangat has this desire for Gurmat orientated jathedars, yeah, then when somebody steps up and proposes that plan, and everybody goes, yeah, I agree with you, then it will work. Yeah, it will get implemented. But people nowadays have forgotten the need for leaders. So this is what a part of this talk was about. Is in your mind, make sure you understand, no, we do need leaders. They're not here yet, but we need to be, when they do come, we need to be welcoming them and listening to them and following them and supporting them. Okay? Not being that person who just causes them trouble. But on the other side, where we see a problem, we're going to start solving them. Okay? This is what we need. Take lead in our projects. If you've been watching any of the videos that I've made, you would have noticed that I keep repeating this pankti to everybody. Yeah? I didn't put it in the slide, I forgot about it. But the next pankti, you're going to talk about it. But this pankti, you all must have heard if you've, is Apan Hatti Apna, Ape Hi Kaj Savari. Guru Sahib says in Asadiwa, they go, you know what? It's in your hands. So fix your own problems. It's in your hands, the power is in your hands. Yeah? Matlab, it's not gone yet. It's not all over in time to give up and go home. We can still solve our problems. But we need to grab hold of them and find a solution. So we need that impetus to just go and do something. And how are we going to do that? I'm going to finish off with this pankti. Yeah? This is a benti inside Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Guru Sahib looks to God and they say, Meri Ram, oh my Lord, oh my Master, oh my Guru, oh my Vaheguru, Meri Ram, Tod Bandhan Maya. Break the bonds of Maya around me. What stopped me from doing what I need to do? And they say, Kar ke kam lai. Put me to work in your house. Mainu apne ghar vich kuch kaam vaste la do. Make my life worthwhile. Let me serve you. And this is, you may have the desire, and I know a lot of people that have had a bit of desire to do some seva for the Panth. And they've looked at themselves, they go, I'm not good enough. You're never going to be good enough. Are you going to one day stop saying those words? Hum ab gun pare, ek gun nahi. When you figured out you're good enough, then you say, main hon shabad nahi ga sakda. Sorry, ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, sorry ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੀ, ਇਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੁਣ ਆ ਗਏ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ, ਇਹ ਝੂਠ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਬੋਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਾ ਲਓ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਠੀਕ ਹੈਗਾ, ਮੇਰੇ ਤੇ ਟੁਕਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ. Can you say that? No, you're never going to be good enough, right? How are you going to say, like, you know, mere hai avgun tu gun sagar jaat rasatal urte hari. I'm full of bad qualities, I'm going to go to hell, but I'm going to hold on to your feet and you can save me. Yeah? Sikhi. So we're never going to be good enough, innit? So we can't sit around thinking, oh well, I'm not good enough. You know? So we got to think there's something that needs to be done. I can do that job. I can do it. Don't try and be a leader. That's chosen by the Panth. Try and be a sevadar. Do some seva for the Panth. Yeah. So again, like, I'm not a leader either. That's to make it clear. I'm a sevadar. Yeah. But I've got Jimmevari on my shoulders for what the seva that I'm looking after. Okay. Just like in every Gurdwara, there's somebody who's Jimmevar that turns up every day to make sure that the pandey are clean, to make sure the flowers are set properly, to make the hoover done. They take that Jimmevari. Unhanu pata hai that I've been doing this for so many years. I got to do it. If I don't turn up tomorrow, no one else is going to turn up because they don't think they need to turn up because I've been doing it for so many years. Yeah. So in that way, we've all got a Jimmevari. Yeah? So we've got to become sevadars of the Panth and ask Maharaj, Maharaj, give me some job. Main apne ghar vich na mainu koi kaam de do. Yeah? And the only thing holding you back from that seva is Maya. Falsehood. It's not just the Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar. It's also fake Nimrata. Fake Nimrata. No, I'm not good enough for this job. Ji, tusi aap kar lo. Yeah? Or, as Benji said, we don't want to be Jimmevar. We don't admit that. No one will ever admit, I don't want that responsibility. What they'll say, I'm not good enough. Yeah. But really, when something needs to be done, we need to step up and do it. Okay, so I'll leave you the main two thoughts of this talk. Paji said, make sure you finish off with the main message. The main message is from this slide. Okay, we need both selected leaders, yeah, and we need people to step up and start solving our Panthic problems. I always joke about this. I say, what's the plan B? Plan A is we pick some leaders, Panj Pyare, they choose everybody to do the job. They've got loads of money, they've got loads of finances. It's all sorted, you just get on with it. It's like a company, well-run army. Perfect, no problem. That's plan A. What's plan B? In the absence of plan A, we've got to come up with a plan B, because when those leaders turn up, let's say, you know, people say, well, if Guru Sahib was here, we could sort it out. Well, if Guru Sahib came here today in physical roop, what would they say to us? They wouldn't just give us a whole bunch of plans to do. They'd also say, what did you do while I wasn't here? What was your plan B? So we have to be answerable for plan B. Yeah? Doing nothing is not an option. Yeah? So we've got to do plan B. Think of a plan B. Plan A, everybody wants plan A. They always moan about plan A, or we need plan A. I say plan A is good enough for the future. At the moment, we've got to work with plan B. Okay, so I'm not sure how good that was, or what it helped with. It was something that I wrote up today. It's a lot of thoughts that went into it, that I've been thinking about for a long time. ठीक है ना? Okay, so पुलन चुके दिखे माँ, अपने सीसा बख्शो, गज करके फतेह आखो, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.